the same town, Franklin, North Carolina. Anok Young. Hey, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine, Mike. Normally when we record this Israel update, when I'm in Franklin, typically I'm sitting next to you. This is a lot more comfortable. I mean,
Are you saying that
boy,
sitting next to me is
that
not
came out
comfortable?
wrong. That came out wrong. No,
You want me to start the recording over?
no. Yeah, let's do that.
What's on your mind this morning besides insulting
Okay.
me?
It's interesting. As I travel around the country, and fortunately, those travels are really winding down at this point. Um, a couple of quick observations. First of all, encountering, meeting, reconnecting
Mhm.
uh, some really amazing people
Yeah.
who truly care and love Israel. And of course, everyone wants to know, so what's going to happen? How is this going to end? What's going to, is Israel going to, and you know
Yeah.
what? My government hasn't yet decided what they're going to be
Yeah.
doing. So, people say, well, is Israel going into Rafiah, which in English is written as Rafah for whatever reason? Um, we don't know. Looks very likely.
Yeah.
Israel has stated, unless the hostages are released by the start of Ramadan, which is just a few weeks,
Mm.
um, we will go in. We all know that we did send in special forces units who we had pinpoint intelligence. Um, how that happened has not been released. To release those two men, the two Argentinian.
Yeah.
So that's clear as mud. But everyone's trying to speculate where this is going to all end up, and there are about 15 at least scenarios of how this can happen.
Hmm.
But I'd rather look at the more sort of the overarching
Okay.
where it might go kind of thing. And I don't believe that this is the capital THE end war.
Hmm.
To a certain degree, perhaps on a strictly spiritual level or perhaps hopeful level, I'm thinking that perhaps this may have been maybe the last wake-up call.
Okay. I can see that. Yeah.
Um, Preparing us because we will never make the mistakes again that we did in terms of intelligence assessment, in terms of our military preparedness, or in terms of the scope of how we viewed the big picture of what was going on. So there's one element to it.
Okay. Could I throw something into it?
Sure.
Um, Mick, you say we will never make the same mistake again. Could it not be said that this is the same mistake that was made in '73? Just
No.
throwing that out. Okay, that would be something that people would think about. So what is
Okay.
different
The
between
difference.
'73 and
Okay.
now?
First of all, although it was similar in the sense of intelligence assessment,
Mhm.
like, well, the Egyptians are not going to war, they're just doing exercises, they're just doing that for show. We had concrete intelligence hours before the Yom Kippur War that they were going to strike.
Yeah.
And that's when the American, the issue of American pressure, Kissinger, Secretary of State, made it very clear to Golda Meir, our prime minister, that America would not understand if Israel did a preemptive strike.
Okay. Okay.
We did not have that level of intelligence this
Okay.
time. We
All right.
didn't. Okay, so
Okay.
there's one element. Um, I also don't believe that the next major war is going to be 50 years out. I don't.
Mhm.
I think it's going to be a lot sooner.
Yeah.
But this has now raised that element. But I actually think the intelligence part is the smallest piece. The military piece is the smallest piece.
Okay.
It's the question of unity.
Yeah.
It's the question that the people of Israel have pulled together in a way never seen before in our history. Never. Now, of course, the skeptic would sit back and say, yeah, well, how long is that going to last? Of
Mm.
course, we don't know. But the thing that's intriguing is there's another element. These are the two main points that I was thinking. But just last night, in a conversation I had with someone by the name of Daniel Clayton, Daniel mentioned to me that almost in emulating, these are my words, not his, but similarly to the unity found in Israel, those now he used the term spiritual Israel,
Okay.
and that's a term that's meant many things throughout history.
Yeah.
So let's just say those who truly love and care for Israel, the unity outside of Israel is intense too.
Mm.
And we have often spoke about a sorting out, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
those who had been involved, no longer involved, congregations that were staunchly behind Israel, they may be, they may not, they may split, whatever it may be. So there is a real intense focus, I think, in giving people a chance to rethink, is you is or is you ain't my constituency.
Yeah, and that always that statement, of course, brought a little chuckle at Shabbat, which we had an amazing Shabbat service, and thank you for presenting your presentation there. Yeah, I was kind of wondering what that conversation was with Daniel right there at the end, but
Yeah.
so you let me in on it. Um, I can see that. I mean, we've talked about the remnant. We've talked about the sifting. I mean, we've talked
Yeah.
about that to
All
to
the
the
time.
point
All the time.
that people are wanting drugs for it. But the truth is that this in Israel, and I talked about this being there in the land. I've never seen this kind of unity. Now, my time in the land is less than well, about 25 years now. But I did go through the second, the second intifada, the Oslo War.
Yeah.
Um, there was still political conversations on the streets.
Always.
There
Always.
was there was all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yep.
There was none of that this time. I mean, it was like
Absolutely.
we're in. Now, my question is that hostages released, Bezrat Hashem, may it be soon. Hostages released and everything. How many of the people will go back to the way that it was before October 7th in
Right.
Israel?
Right. That's a great question. And of course, no one knows for sure.
Yeah.
But my gut feeling is telling me that elements of this, maybe not 100%, but elements of this unity and this saying, okay, so what's really important? I mean, I don't know if people realized that prior to October 7th, how incredibly torn apart and divided we were in Israel.
Hmm.
I mean, it was really, really, really bad. Now, it's not going to just be a smooth transition to everyone holding hands and dancing the hora. It's not going to be like that. We are going to have elections. There's going to be political infighting. There's going to be mudslinging. Um, but the hope and the prayer is that we as a society will be better able to have a level of discourse
Yeah. Yeah.
between
So,
us. Now,
so is dancing the hora your kind of is that uh the Jewish version of Kumbaya? Is that
well, not necessarily, but it
okay?
is always danced at weddings
Okay. Just
and smachot and happy
this
occasions.
was kind of funny to me the way you said that.
The the well, I just in a sense of,
Yeah.
yeah, stating something that people recognize as everyone getting together and doing.
Yeah.
Um, Now, the other thing that I've been really mulling about is the effects outside of Israel.
Yeah.
There isn't a major Jewish community anywhere in the world, from Melbourne, Australia, to Johannesburg, South Africa, to New York City, to Houston, to Atlanta, anywhere that hasn't been shaken to the core.
Yeah.
Will that lead to slash will it increase aliyah? Is
Yeah.
this a kind of like, last call at the bar, wrap up your affairs and seriously start thinking about moving to Israel?
Yeah.
Now,
Is this kind of the Jabotinsky's last
yeah.
final call there for people to do something? Yeah, I got that.
So these are the things that are weighing heavily upon me. Of course, the groups that I speak to are not Jewish groups here in the US. Um, so I don't have my fingers to the pulse directly, but from the things that I have seen, ranging from Instagram to Facebook to
Mhm.
posts to emails that people have shared with me, I'd like to think that some have gotten it,
Mm.
because if you depend upon your local police department and or you get your firearms license, that's not going to stop a crowd of 30 people that want to set fire to your home because
No,
you're
no, it isn't. It isn't. Um, and what I'm seeing on the this side, on the you know places you're going, the places I've been through the years. This is, I think, on this side also kind of the final call. Um,
yeah, agreed.
I've been watching very closely, and I did that when I was in Israel doing videos. I was watching the feed. Um, I've been watching very closely congregations that I'm, in some way, have uh, some contact with, ministries, whatever it may be. Who's talking about Israel, who's not.
That's right.
Is this the final? Okay, guys, we're gonna give you one more time to stand up, and then it's all over. Then the curtain is drawn, and you've made your decision. That concerns me right now.
Yeah, it, it
Very much
really,
concerns
it,
me.
yeah, it's a real issue. And although it's Jewish people, let's say, for instance, in America, that are, in the focus, because it's really interesting. There's no longer the terminology, Israel Zionist.
Hmm.
It's Jew.
Yeah,
It's really, to a certain degree, if I could step out of that for a second, it's fascinating how that all changed
yeah,
in time. And it's acceptable in America. These Hamas supporters at demonstrations will hold up a swastika and will subsequently call us Nazis, will commit genocide against the Jewish people and the foreign workers that they killed, the Thai workers
yeah,
and the others, and then accuse us of genocide. I mean, it's just the whole world is crazy, and everything that they say is seized upon as absolute truth. That's what's amazing.
yeah,
That's what's
yeah,
absolutely amazing. But I want to share for those who are listening who love Israel, we know that, who are not Jewish, they're coming for you too. This is the whole thing. If we can't wear a Magen David or any kind of symbol, neither can you. If we're attacked for carrying an Israeli flag, you will be too.
yeah. I don't think that people are wondering about the we have a mutual friend that attends a church not too far from here, and they put an Israel flag up. And I know the pastor, and he's like, I ain't taking it down. Um, and I believe this guy. Um, he owns a gun shop. Okay. Pastor that owns a gun shop, my kind of people.
Praise the
Um,
Lord.
yeah. So, but what's it going to take? How long do we have before those that are standing with Israel? It's not just the Jews,
Yeah.
but it's those, I mean, this was, if anybody has ever studied what happened in Nazi Germany, it was, yeah, let's get the Jews. Okay, now let's get those that stand with them.
Well, it was the communists, it was the trade unionists, it was anyone now, and I don't feel that I should speak too much on American politics.
Yeah.
Simple reason that I don't have skin in the game. I don't live here. Um, but a lot of choices and decisions need to be made now, and people need to act. It's not just enough to love Israel, it's to love Israel and do something about it.
And we talk about Honok, about what do you do with that? What is the way? Okay, well, let's look at the political thing.
Sure.
You've heard me say so many times, and I don't have a problem with people writing their Congress critter or whatever. That's fine. But if you're looking for a political solution to a spiritual problem, might have a problem in getting results there. But what about talking to your neighbor? You know, I
It's
mean,
the most basic thing.
yeah,
It's the most basic thing.
I'm watching with posts that I've done recently in Israel. I'm seeing a whole new group of people that are watching the Israel Update, watching other broadcasts I'm doing, asking if they can come to our congregation, as I told you last night, various things like that. And this is brings me to something I was talking to Kathy about the other night. It just it bewilders me. Okay. Um, it bewilders me to understand, and I don't want to get on this, let's beat the dead horse thing, but I'm gonna. It bewilders me why a person that has an Instagram account, a Facebook account, whatever it is out there, that watches a broadcast like this or other broadcasts that are out there that are pro-Israel, and don't take the half a second to share it with the people on your Facebook. I just,
It's such a small thing to do, but could have a big
but
impact.
could have an amazing. I mean, we have Kathy somehow reached out to a relative that she has not talked to in I don't know how long, and all of a sudden, thank you, Gail, um, sent a donation for Israel. Is now receiving the information from our ministry.
Yeah.
And and it's just a matter of hit the share button, and you
Yeah.
never know where that is going. Well, I'm not called to preach. Okay, I got that.
Serve as a conduit to share. Yeah,
Yeah, we
you're
don't need
absolutely right.
anybody else online. What we need is
Absolutely.
people that are online that have an influence with a group that I don't have, just to hit the share button. That's it.
Yeah.
Everything that you see out there, so what? People get tired of hearing it. Okay, maybe they'll unsubscribe from you. They weren't listening to you anyway. But maybe that one person you're going to reach, or that dozen people you're going to reach.
People, again, one of the things that I've shared in this most recent presentation was I shared a little bit of my background in activism when I was
Mhm.
college age.
Yeah.
and it,
It's funny.
yeah, there are some other stories too. We'll get to them.
Mm.
But the concept, the belief that everything that you do could truly impact the world, can change the world.
Yeah.
People are too complacent, too set in their mind that they can't do anything. Like when I say to people, if you've got elected representatives that are doing good things for Israel and speaking for Israel, write to them
Yeah. Support them.
and support them. And if you don't, if you have the reverse, if you have someone from your state or whatever it might be, your county, I mean, um, community based boards like community school boards
Hmm.
are being disrupted, city council meetings across the US by supporters of Hamas,
Yeah.
asking them to, or demanding from them that they make a resolution. And this idea of pushing a resolution demanding a ceasefire, release our hostages.
Yeah. 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 The thing of
It's insane.
the thing of doing something, Bill, our mutual friend, could attest to this. To start an avalanche, it only takes one well-placed 22 bullet. That's all it takes.
Yeah,
But it also takes somebody pulling the trigger.
yeah,
So maybe you're the one that's sitting there with that well-placed 22 bullet. And it's aimed in, but until you pull the trigger, nothing's happening.
yeah.
I see that you got Brazil mad at you.
Well, the president of Brazil compared the war in Gaza that we're committing a Holocaust.
Hmm.
And it's astounding. We're not rounding up civilians in Gaza and slaughtering them. Understand something. If Israel wanted to commit a genocide, if Israel wanted to ethnically cleanse Gaza, from the air
Hmm.
alone,
Any day.
we could have turned it all to sand within 2 days.
Yeah.
By October 10th, we'd be talking about what had been.
Yeah.
We could have,
Yeah.
but
It
we
would have
didn't.
been, how do we rebuild this into something of beauty again?
Yeah, this is, but we live in a world, as I've described it, as the largest collection of highly educated morons that have ever
Hmm.
walked the face of the earth.
Yeah.
People who are smart, but again, it's the classic holding up a sign that you were handed that says from the river to the sea and not knowing what river and what sea.
Yeah. Yeah. That's.
Not understanding you're talking about the murder and elimination of
Mm.
7 million Jews in Israel, let alone those outside of Israel. Because when this is over, I don't see the sort of calming of spirits, on American college campuses, for
Mm.
instance, or demonstrations. There'll still be demonstrations.
Hmm.
There'll still be, and it is outright Jew hatred. I no longer use the term anti-Semitism
Yeah. It
because,
is. Yeah.
every once in a while you'll come across someone who's of Arab descent and they'll say, "Well, I'm a Semite, so I can't be anti-Semitic."
Yeah.
No, but you're a Jew hater. Let's call
Yeah.
it out.
Hey, I saw a great report. I can't remember which site it was on a Arab Muslim that was given permanent residency because of his heroic acts of saving people on October 7th.
Fabulous,
Yeah.
fabulous. There've been more than a handful of instances like that. Again, remember, among the hostages that they took were Israeli Bedouin
Yeah.
I mean, so again, you're talking about men and women who are Muslim.
Yeah.
They're Muslim, but it didn't matter.
Yeah, you turn that table around. If an Israeli doctor had saved the life of a Muslim uh, individual,
Yeah,
uh, they would still, that doctor would still be up for a death sentence because they're Jewish. I know there's only one solution in the world's mind to this, and that is that there would no longer be Jewish air exhaled.
yeah.
That's it. You can, this is a Band-Aid. Okay, Gaza, we put a little Band-Aid over there. It's going somewhere else. And you're right. It's the words of the guy, I can't remember who it was, that says, they came for this group and I wasn't one of them. They came from and finally they came for me and there was nobody there to help me.
I think that
Uh
was Pastor Niemöller, if I'm
yeah,
not mistaken.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Um Yeah, amazing, amazing individual.
absolutely.
I actually was in Berlin and went to the prison cell where he was held for a while.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, that'll bring some thoughts to your mind of what can happen in these days. I need to give a bit of a announcement. I don't have all the details right now, but it is just so happening that myself and Josh Waller of Hayabel fame, along with his wife and possibly his children, his girls, will be speaking at the same place in I just have to say North Georgia for now. But so mark your calendar. I will have information, God willing, I'll have information by my broadcast next week and also on this one if you're around to do this, because I know you're gonna be having a little jet lag issues. But for March 9th and 10th, it might be possible that for the first time in history, me and Josh Waller are gonna be doing a conference together. Looking forward to
Hey,
that.
I thought you were going to finish that sentence that you and Josh Waller were going to be singing together. See that for a moment, I thought that's where you were going with that, Mike.
Well, we are, and Josh has given me the solo. Um, he said something about solo. I thought he was talking about me singing by myself. You thinking it was volume he was talking about?
I don't know. I don't know. That's great. That's really great. And I just want to remind people that each and every one of us can change the world in a tiny infinitesimal way, certainly on the spiritual level, but on a practical level
Yeah,
too. And
yeah,
all it involves is caring enough. It's kind of sharing is caring.
oh,
As we tell little kids, this is what it is. Now, the other thing I might as well throw out, as long as we're making announcements, I've decided that I'll be returning to the US in June with Hashem's help. Whole new presentation. But again, let's remind everyone, these presentations are all about Israel. It's all about what's happening.
yeah,
It's all about what it means. It's
yeah.
all the background. It's all everything you'd want to know. So this would be the time, folks, if you'd want me to come to your communities, give some thought to it, reach out to me. Um, this particular time frame, I know will book quickly. The summer always does. The winter, some locations are just not suitable. Um, and I hope to see y'all in a couple of months.
There you go. Well, if well, I'll ask our folks at Life Assembly if we'd start to pray and fast over that. Um, you know how
Oh,
good we are at fasting. We're much
oh
better at
man.
praying.
Yes,
Yeah. So,
absolutely.
all right.
Absolutely.
You're heading out. back to the old country and then older country there. So
Yeah, I'll with Hashem's help, I'll be home uh Tuesday morning Israel time.
okay.
Um, not looking forward to that first week. I don't fly well, even after all these trips. Um, but with Hashem's help, we'll be recording on Wednesday next week. I'll
There
be
you
home.
go. All right.
Yeah.
Look forward to it. All
All
right.
right, man. Take
See you
care.
tonight.
So, bye.